What is the worst thing you've ever seen or heard in a game of Truth or Dare? When I was about 15 years old, my HS soccer team had a co-ed, girls/guys team, spaghetti dinner that turned into a co-ed sleepover. Maybe about 6 guys and 5 girls. We ended up taking a bottle of really cheap Mr. Boston vodka from this kid's parents, and all of us began drinking much faster than 15-year-olds should. I was beginning to feel pretty nauseous but was determined to stay in the game of Truth or Dare that we had started. I was then dared to kiss the bare ass cheek of one of the more crude chicks on the girls' team. As I pressed my lips to her cheek, she thought it would be hilarious to grab the back of my head and rip ass right in my face. The heat and smell were too much for my stomach to bear, and as I pulled away I barfed all over her back and ass. I got dared to use a zipline that nobody had likely touched in decades. So we climbed up a mountain while wasted in the middle of the night, found that my friend was not bullshitting and that it actually did exist, used our zip on it and sailed over a 1,500 feet drop. And then the thought occurred to me that I had no way of getting back, and I had not even brought a flashlight with me, and had absolutely no knowledge of part of the mountain I was on. So I basically stood in place for 7 hours or so. I don't know if that was the worst, but it was definitely the most stupid, especially considering that the whole point of the game was to get with some girls who were no longer in a partying mood after I disappeared into the night. One of my mates said he had his cock pierced and nobody believed him, as he'd sometimes exaggerate/make up stories. To prove it, he put a straw through the piercing, and then another of my mates was dared to drink his drink through the cock straw. It was hilarious, and weird. And both parties regretted it immediately. Was playing Truth or Dare with a few friends, my best friend, and my best friend's wife. When they married, they were both virgins by choice, from a traditional household. We're having fun and it comes to my turn. I ask my best friend's wife, Truth or Dare? She answers truth. My friend and I would always joke about our so's despising anal sex, and being disgusted by it, so I asked as a joke, "Have you ever had anal sex?" "Yes." She answers. Her husband turns bright red and says, "No, we haven't." The two leave shortly after. Turns out she was a traditional virgin but had lost her anal virginity back in high school. We didn't really talk after that. Really drunk, at a house party in high school. This hot girl named Jennifer took a truth. So, the question was what her worst sexual experience had been. The answer devolved into a cryfest about how she had actually been forcibly raped by her stepbrother. After that, we didn't play that game very much anymore. One dare was to bake cookies whilst nude, but then we were out of sugar, so a follow-up dare required a second person going to the neighbor's door in underwear to ask for a cup of sugar. It worked and the cookies were delicious. Grad student neighbors didn't even bat an eye. Fairly tame but seasonally timely. In high school, a group of friends were playing Todd drunk after a party at my house. One of my friends had a crush on a girl and was trying hard to get with her. So, when it was her turn to ask him, he suavely stated dare. She told him to put one of the lights adorning the nearby Christmas tree into his dick hole. He did. She was disgusted and ended up loudly hooking up with another friend in an adjacent room, like soul-crushingly loud, while he sat on the couch nursing his burnt meatus. 'Tis the season, I guess. I wasn't participating, but there was one weird night when one of my daughters had a bunch of friends over. My wife and I were sitting downstairs while they were up in her room apparently playing Truth or Dare. Over the course of a couple hours we experienced some pretty weird stuff. 2 of my daughter's friends came running downstairs and started twerking before running off again. My daughter came down and said, "Mommy, Daddy, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant because I'm a whore." Later we heard a splash outside by the pool, and a minute later a couple girls come running into the house wrapped in towels and dripping wet. I had to go tell them to not jump out the window anymore, and that pretty much stopped the shenanigans. I got really drunk in a game with some workmates and I had to get out my testicles and touch them against one of the other guy's testicles. Probably pretty tame compared to what else will be on this thread. One of the popular girls in my high school admitted to regularly pooping in her hand. She took truth and was asked to tell an embarrassing secret or something like that. She said that she was always embarrassed whenever there was a splashing sound in the toilet when she went to poop, so she'd always poop in her hand and then slide it quietly into the water. She went from being a popular girl to being the hen poop girl pretty quick. When asked to present a deep secret about themselves, one of the really hot girls, this was high school, straight up admitted to using whipped cream to get her cat, aren't their towels like sandpaper, to lick her. The awkwardness escalated exponentially like a nuke in the room, seeping into the very core of every living being present. When I was 16 I played Truth or Dare whilst really drunk. Bad mistake. I got asked what the most humiliating thing I've ever done was. Well, drunk me thought telling people about the time I had a whack and managed to unload so hard I covered my own face was a good idea. Never lived it down.